Thynar versus YYJ on Junkyard.
Yep, it's going to be interesting. I haven't actually seen Thynar play, but I know YYJ is a very, very strong player. But hey, man, I swear to God, every time I cast, people go, "Is Sen playing in this?" And like, no, he's not on SCA.
Is Sen playing?
Yeah, everyone confuses. Oh, my God, I keep forgetting where he's from. The place that has beef with China, whatever that is. He's on a different server. But anyway. Junkyard PVT. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how good Thynar is. Do you have any idea who he is?
I have no idea who Thynar is, but for the sake of this cast, it's actually Liquid Tyler alias. See the Phoenix icon? That proves it. So we have Noonie, as he is more commonly called, versus YYJ.
Once we lag, and Meza lags out.
Meza leaves in disgust. I should be careful yelling. I'm like right next to a hallway with like a whole bunch of people that live outside.
Are you in a college?
No, I'm in an apartment building.
Oh, that sucks. I'm so glad I moved. Like, college was great, but once I moved off, I'm like, yes, freedom, I can be loud if I want, etc., etc.
Fair enough, fair enough. So we have pretty standard things by both players. No one sending out an SCV or probe too early, so there's going to be no proxy shenanigans. That's what we've missed here. No one's doing any, like, you know, things.
I want to see more pylon. I want to see more proxies. I want to see more proxies and weird stuff.
I really expected him to proxy me that game, and like me just look like an idiot lose to like 6x Reaper. Like that's what I was really waiting for. But it looks like Liquid Teela is putting down a 9 pylon. Meanwhile, YYJ chucking down the supply depot.
And anyway, I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes.
Alright, so I've lost the main caster. You guys actually can't see what's going on, so I'm gonna have to be very descriptive.
No, that's right. I've got you on follow.
Oh no, dude, it's alright. I'll describe. SCVs are mining blue crystals known as minerals. They mine them and then are taking it back. At the same time, there is a probe zapping an SCV that is building a barracks. A building is warping in. It's called a gateway. It's used to produce zealots, stalkers, sentries, high Templar, and dark Templar.
And immortals sometimes.
Oh yeah, and you can warp in immortals. Shuffle's being Shuffle and just lagging it up. He leaves the game. Very manner of Shuffle. YYJ with a 14 refinery popping down there now. Meantime, Matino also with a 14 assimilator popping down. So, yeah, not much out of the unordinary so far. I believe Liquid Teela just lost his probe, which is a big mistake right there. Really big mistake. And so, yeah, pretty basic stuff going on. It's kind of hard to cast these early bits without a co-caster because you don't really know what to talk about. But from what I know, YYJ is actually a really high-ranked Terran player on the C ladder. He was, I think, ranked 4th in the top 200 the last time I checked the top 200 and the last time that C players were actually playing solely on C. But we have the Orbital Command upgrading now, Marines producing out. It looks like he's actually queued up 2 Marines, so we won't see an instant Tech Lab Marauder type play or anything like that, like we've seen out of the other Terrans. In the meantime, Thynar going for the Cybernetics Core and also going for the Zealot while the Cybernetics Core building. I think this is a really good move. I don't think enough Protoss players do this. It makes you a lot safer against that early pressure. And putting down the second assimilator as well, so we're not going to see any quick expansion play. We're most likely going to see either a 4 warp gate or a quick tech to either robotics facility or Stargate, or maybe even Blink Stalkers. In the meantime, YYJ chucking a reactor down on that barracks and also putting up a factory. So he could either be going for mech sort of play with some tanks and some Marines, or he could possibly be taking up to Banshees. Banshees lately have been really popular for Terran players. Other than that, both players just sitting back passively now. YYJ taking the scout and running out of his base, patrolling it out the front of his base, though I really like that move as that allows for him to scout the second that Thynar moves out. But you can see Thynar now moving out with a probe as well. And they're kind of doing a funny little dance right here, walking around. YYJ trying to do a dance around, but it's taking a bunch of free hits, so that was kind of silly. And we see a second gateway now going down for Thynar as I take a sip of my drink so my throat doesn't get destroyed.
And And I just realized I've been doing this thing all the time with no game sound because I'm a scrub like that and don't play with game sounds. So I've just thought I turned it back on. Oh my god. Epic fail here by me.
And we've got the robotics facility now as well going down for Thynar as he wigs a probe out like massively just to go back to mine now. He sends it back out and builds a pylon, okay. And Junior June throws down a second supply depot. It looks like he's slowly walling off with pure supply depots here while he builds a tank. So he's going to do, I think, and there's no starport at all, so I think he's going to do a marine tank either just expand or he's going to do marine tank pressure into expand.
Yeah, it looks like we got a 2-gate into Robo Bay coming from Thynar now, so that's going to be pretty safe versus this kind of stuff. He doesn't want to go being offensive with it. It's more to get your own expansion up and go further into the late game than anything else. Because against a siege expand or a predominantly siege-heavy Terran player, you want to try and out-macro them and just abuse the immobility once they get to 2 or 3 bases, because they got to defend all of them. So they're gonna have to spread thin their mech line so you can just macro up, get your 200 army, pick a weak spot, and punch through it. That's probably the easiest way to deal with that kind of play. Kind of the same as in Brood War as well, if I think about it. But anyway.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's it. If the Terran is going for a more mech kind of play, it kind of does play out very similar to PvT as it did in Brood War, for those of you who played Brood War. And if you didn't, play Brood War. It's good.
Oh, this is going to hurt if he comes up and sees this. He needs to run away very, very fast.
Oh, yeah. Stalker coming out. That Stalker will be lucky if it escapes with its life, which it does. June saying shit as he sees the army coming, but I think he thought it was a 4 warp gate, and it's only 2 warp gates, so he's alright for now. Smart decision by Thynar. Sees the siege tanks for the first time and instantly starts chrono boosting out an immortal, so I really like that play. Yep. He's got the perfect amount of workers as well, actually. He's got 30, which perfectly fully saturate one base, which shows that he's quite a thinking player, but the fact that he's not producing more shows that he may plan on staying on this one base for quite a long while. If you're planning on expanding, you usually like to produce past the 30 mark, just so you have a couple of extra probes to transfer over and you have optimal mining as soon as possible on your expansion as well.
Yeah, I like that scan point, if you just saw that. The scan position of YYJ, he got it right between the 2 bases, so he could see if he's expanded, but he also could see the tech, which is really nice. I like it. But yeah, like you were saying, he's not producing any more probes. He might be just planning on doing a 1-base push here, because when the Terran does expand, he needs to spread himself out, but I'm not sure how well that's going to work. It is a very spread out natural, so that probably might help me if he comes around the side here, but yeah.
I completely agree with that, but one important thing that he missed with the scan was this robotics bay down the south part of Thynar's base, and at the same time, Thynar also taking his expansion now, so they're both going to go onto the mid-game in pretty equal footing. I really like this idea of going for Colossus, because while he's got the siege tanks, and it's very tempting to just produce nothing but immortals to counter the tanks, the Colossus do really, 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 really times infinity well against Marines. Like, if you haven't seen Colossus against Marines, it's probably because the Marines die so quick that you don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, because the Marines really chew through Zealots, and what you want to counter tanks now, well, you did before the patch, but even more so now, is a lot of speed Zeals to be able to deal with tanks. But it looks like he's going for the backdoor entrance. I'm going to put my money on...
Junior June has no idea that this backdoor entrance is even here.
Yeah, like, I don't think he's played this map before.
I don't think this is like a case of he forgot the backdoor entrance was there and he hasn't spotted it, as much as he has no idea that this is even here.
Yeah.
And if Thynar micros this correctly, this is going to be devastating. I think Junior June is going to have the shock of his life right now and wonder where the hell all these units just came from.
Yeah, he needs to focus down the barracks or the factory, I think. Or the add-ons, sorry. Add-ons first. Nice force field there.
The tanks on siege. Force field's half the army down the ramp. I really like that. I think he should just pick up these 2 tanks and retreat back into the main. That would be the best course of action here.
I'm surprised he hasn't sieged the tanks at the bottom here.
I think Junior June has enough to hold this right now. Traps even more Marines. Really nice force field. Liquid Teela here, showing why he is on the Team Liquid. I think he's going to get taken out right here. This tank up the back here might be a bit too much. He's focusing down the Immortal, which is a really smart move by Junior June. If he didn't do that, that second siege tank there would have no doubt fallen.
But he's now getting Colossus out, so...
to hold this off. But at the same time, as Junior June so correctly pointed out, he fucking owned him, and he doesn't have many SCVs left, and he's definitely in tatters after that attack. His backdoor is open, which means that Junior June suddenly has 2 places to defend. And as you said,
3 actually, because you got the top left of the natural, you got the middle of the natural, and you got the main backdoor. But it looks like he doesn't care. He's just going for the push. This could actually work really well.
Yeah, he actually has a lot of units. He has 4 tanks, 11 marines, and 3 marauders, and all Thynar has is 2 zealots, a colossi, and 4 stalkers. So if he can kill that... this is all going to come down to colossi control. He really needs to control that colossi well and keep it alive as long as possible, and also siege control. So nice siege up here. He really needs to focus fire that colossus, I think.
He is going
Marines
at this.
getting obliterated.
Wow, there's too many units.
The colossi down. Immortal is out, which isn't going to make much of a difference against 4 siege tanks and a couple marauders, and Thynar loses from a position that I don't think he should have necessarily lost from. Looking at that, he had 800 minerals banked when he lost the game, so that's obviously just a macro slip as he was too busy concentrating on micro.
Yeah. And yeah, I just realized, like, as I was like, oh my god, why is it coming out? I'm stupid. I should hit enable music. See, this is what happens when I don't actually play with sound.